Seth Lennon, and welcome to beautiful Palm Springs for the 2024 SMACNA Annual Convention. My guest right now is a new member of our SMACNA family, Dani Mackey from Dani Mackey Communications. Dani, first off, obviously, welcome here to beautiful Palm Springs.
Thank you.
And second, a big welcome to the SMACNA family. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Seth. Let me make sure that you know the pleasure is all mine. For the past 20 years, I've been focused on helping associations tell their stories and making sure that the public, communities, their customers and clients understand the value that you provide and also that your members provide.
Yeah, let's talk about that here.
Yeah.
Tell us exactly what you bring to the table for not only SMACNA and our contractors, because our collaboration over the last few months has been absolutely tremendous. You have been such a value added to our association. So just give our members just a little bit of an insight onto kind of what you do for us on kind of a daily basis.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we've done for the sheet metal and HVAC industry is create a news bureau, a hub of information so that we can provide valuable information about your industry to the media so that they can tell it to their audiences. So we're communicating with magazines, newspapers, TV stations, radio stations that reach not only the sheet metal and HVAC industry, but business industry at large about all of the great work that sheet metal and HVAC workers do and why it's important for people to know about. Now is an incredibly good time to be telling your story.
The growth of our space, we're lucky, like in the last 4 years, we've seen just so much explosion in business from a lot of the legislation that's come through Capitol Hill that's opened up so much public funding to our sector. And you have done a great job kind of leveraging a lot of op-ed opportunities for us to really, as you said, get your story out there. Can you go into a little more detail about that for us?
You mentioned some great examples of reasons why your news is relevant to society right now. Another that comes to mind for me is that when Gen Z has been called the tool belt generation, right? So young people are turning to the trades in greater numbers than ever before as an alternative to going to college, right? So what an incredible time to tell your story to so many people about and using HVAC and sheet metal as such a great example of opportunities for young people. So we said, let's work with Aaron Hilger, your CEO, to work with him to create an op-ed that he can place that tells the story, that helps to leverage that news, that timely news that's happening right now that is so important to the country and your industry. And so that's another example of how we placed an op-ed. And we look for every opportunity that we can to leverage national news for the benefit of your industry.
Yeah, and I'm very happy you mentioned about the tool belt generation, because I kind of came from the generation where the expectation was college or bust. Like, you either go to college or not really the best look for you. But I'm really glad that that conversation has taken a shift dramatically over the past few years, that we are now seeing, like, because the beautiful thing about a career in this industry is no debt. And it's an industry that, we got to think about this. Like, there's so much that our space can do. I mean, we're getting into nuclear, which you think about sheet metal and nuclear, but we've been really working toward advancing legislation in terms of like pushing forward nuclear reactors, but cleaning up permitting, but just the business avenues that are opening up for folks in our space, and just the opportunity for young people not be burdened by debt, but instead they can go and have this great career where they can support a family, full benefits, everything they ever need, and they're helping build something. And this is great. Right. That has to be a great feeling just to build something, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think that one of the reasons why you've hit the nail on the head, the primary reason why I think young people, research shows that young people are turning to the trades is for no college debt, and they can come right out of school and be part of an industry and learn and grow. I think there are other aspects that also you touched upon, new technologies. It's not, just, a hammer and a nail or putting in a rivet, right? I mean, there's AI, there's new technology. They're flying drones over sites to check for safety. Mm-hmm. There's so much technology out there that it's the cutting edge. So there's so much more than, to what the trades have to offer.
It's mind-blowing because you framed that perfectly, because there's so much technology. I mean, you go into every sheet metal shop and they literally have these giant 3D models of a ducting system at a hospital, at a chip plant, at a superconductor, like everything. And like it's not just working the hands, but it's so much opportunities open in our space where you can be a project manager, where you're just laying out everything and executing a plan in collaboration with a general contractor, a client. There is, like I said, there is the opportunity for the old-fashioned hammer nail stuff, but there's just the technology, and just like I said, I'm glad you mentioned AI. And where do you, just kind of based on what you've seen, what do you think the impact of AI is going to be in our space? Because that's SMACNA as an association is really starting to kind of get our contractors like revved up and understanding that this is going to be a major force in our industry.
It's so interesting that you asked that question, Seth, because I saw a recent survey. I think it was a junior achievement survey about teenagers, and asking them about AI and how they thought that was going to impact their careers and their ability to get a job. And most of the kids felt that it was a bonus to them, so that it wasn't so much going to take their job away, but it was going to provide an opportunity for them to leverage new technology for their career. So I think that whereas we might, some people may view AI as, it's going to take away from opportunities, but I think young kids today think that it creates opportunities, and I think that's hopefully where we're headed.
Yeah, and our AI task force, we're already like Linda Jennings over and her group are really working to kind of expand contractor knowledge, and I think you're right. It's going to open up a lot of opportunities because it's going to be another asset that a contractor can bring to bear when they're confronted with it could help them with kind of a project design. It could help them maybe even write a proposal to kind of when they want to bid. There's so much open-ended things they can deal with. Something I kind of want to ask is, a lot of our contractors these folks are contractors, and their focus is on getting a project point A to point B, completion, hand over to the client. They're not really used to interacting with the media. Mm-hmm. And the thing I always like to talk about with our folks is our contractors are doing some neat stuff. Yeah. So what kind of best practices, what kind of tips would you give to a contractor that's not sure about how they would interact with the media, but if you want them to because the theme of our discussion, I love it, it's telling a story. Yeah. And our contractors have so many neat stories to tell. What kind of best practices would you kind of give to kind of effectively tell their story?
Yeah, well, one of the things I wanted to make sure that I relay to you and to the members is that the work that you do is so visual. It's so creative. Mm-hmm. That people might not view it that way, and it might be surprising about how visual and creative that your work can be. So leverage that. When you talk to a member of the press, especially TV, which is a visual medium, and even a publication, who's going to might want a photo, if you make sure that they know that they can show something being built, constructed, who's going to be doing it? Is it a woman in construction? That might make it even more interesting for the media to come out and cover it. So that's what I would say. And I'll give you an example. So over the summer, we did some public relations activities around Heavy Metal Summer Experience. And because that takes place all over the country in 40 plus markets, and the visuals there are young teenagers learning trade skills from seasoned professionals across the country. Think about the visual that comes along with that. So if we paint the picture properly to the media and let them know that there's a great opportunity to come out and cover it, it's a much greater opportunity. So I think that's one thing that I would say. And again, I want to go back to not underestimating the importance and the value of what you do and the impact on the community. So the work, let's say I'm a shop in St. Louis, and we're building a school, or we're helping to retrofit a school, whatever we might, but kids' health and safety and air quality is important. So that's an important piece of the story that where what you do can be, your story of what you do can be told through the press.
And I'm glad you mentioned Heavy Metal Summer Experience because I noticed something, because I've been to 2 camps since my time at SMACNA. I went to the first one in Boston, and the program was still kind of in the growth phase, and people just didn't know about it. People didn't, but it was, you could already see the work happening. Like, you saw, like, the kids are getting, like, kids were walking out with, like, these fully equipped, like, Milwaukee tool bags with every tool you could ever think of. But it wasn't in public consciousness, but it was starting the process. A year later, I go to a camp in Kansas City. The camp was double the size in Kansas City. Which one's the bigger metropolitan area, Boston or Kansas City? The camp was bigger in Kansas City, and the media was there, and I believe it was an NBC affiliate out there that did a great deal of coverage and just told the stories, because you basically saw the kids getting the graduation things, smiles, parents are excited, parents are proud, everybody's just all about it, and just showing those growth opportunities of showing the kids, like, just because they built things, like they built actual, like, physical things, and just seeing that was just so awe-inspiring and just made me thrilled for the future of our industry. And I think that's the big thing about what we're collaborating on, is helping show the future of the industry.
I couldn't agree more, and to a certain degree, I think the Heavy Metal Summer Experience was ahead of the curve, right? I mean, because they've been in existence for a couple of years, and now that this trend of this tool belt generation is here, there's a system in place to get the word out. And I think it's incredible, and I think that the Angie and the people behind Heavy Metal that support it, all the shops across the country, should be extremely proud of yourselves, because you're doing an amazing job, not only for the industry, but telling the story about the trades and how it's benefiting more than just, of course, this industry.
Yeah, and I think the future just, and especially our industry's only, I think, is going to get more and more in demand. And because there's all the mega projects coming out, and we're doing great work with our labor partners at SMART on addressing the staffing challenges, because these projects are called mega projects for a reason. But we need to build that work. We need to build that labor force. The only way we really do that is getting eyes on those careers as early as possible. And to your point, and just getting the note, and just contractors really need just to be able to get the word out there that this is a thing, like this is the future. And I think by engaging the media in that way, I think we can really accomplish that goal.
Yeah, generating awareness through the media of the value of jobs and trades is something that I'm looking forward to continuing to do, because sometimes stories come and go, trends come and go. Like, okay, this story is going to be here for a long time, right? Kids of teenage years in high school right now, there's going to be at least 4 more years of that coming. So we have a real opportunity to build on it and help it to grow, so that the jobs are filled and more opportunities arise, and even more jobs are created from that.
Yeah. Well, when we're talking about the future, Dani, I am looking very much forward to our future collaboration moving forward. You've been such a great just partner to work with, and it's been an absolute pleasure collaborating with you over the past few months. Dani, thank you so much for joining us. This has been a tremendous conversation, and I hope that our contractors frankly get excited about the future, because I really am.
Thank you so much. And to everyone at SMACNA, all the members that are part of the industry.